Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's just going to be what is hopefully a quick vlog video today just to catch you all up on some of the projects and a little behind the scenes things that I've been working on. So without further ado, here we go. So this is the tragic state of my desk space right now. It's definitely messier than I would prefer it to be. Got like fans and crap all over the place up here. I've been revisiting a bunch of my heat sinks for some follow-up testing for the eventual purchase of a Ryzen 3000 processor. Not gonna be as soon as I would have liked it to be, but I'll explain that a little bit later on. Posted a video earlier on my my Purox Slim being mounted inside the case. That was why. Turns out this can actually keep a 2600 cool, but I'll get into more detail on that with a later video. For right now, I just want to give you all this moment of zen. All that rainbow vomit. Yeah, I still have more testing to do with this heatsink here. This is my first gen H100i. Still really shocked that this thing works at all, but I need to get the stock fans back on it for some testing. You will notice that my Mugen 5 Revision B in there is using a Prisma fan from Fractal Design. Reason for that is because the original fan that came with the heatsink, if my phone will focus, it's not gonna focus. All right, so you can probably see right there now, the frame has definitely, yeah, it broke. I have attempted to glue it back together, but it doesn't seem to want to hold. Any sort of excessive force being applied to it just kind of re-breaks the frame, and I don't really feel comfortable running this on a heat sink. Or at all, really. So unfortunately, until I can source another Kazeflex fan, that is going to have to be the setup that I use for my testing results. So yeah, those of you that have been following for a little bit probably remember I did a pretty expansive review of the Kazeflex fans, but I no longer have access to those. The other 5 fans are actually going to a friend of mine who is going to be working on their own Ryzen system soon. So yeah, that's sort of where we are with that. Now heading out to the garage. God damn, that's disgusting. So this is sort of the other project that I've been working on and off for an embarrassingly long amount of time. If this doesn't really look like anything up here, that's probably because right now it's just completely exploded out. This is a disassembled Sega Nomad that I've been working on for a friend of mine for, again, an embarrassingly long amount of time. But basically what I've been doing is I'm in the process of replacing the original screen that came with it, which honestly barely displays right now. Been going to replace that with a new LCD display. I'm also creating a battery charge circuit to have internally mounted lithium-ion batteries for this. Reduces weight and more than doubles the expected battery life of the Nomad. And if I can figure out an appropriate way to do it without ruining too much of the structural integrity, I will be adding in stereo sound to the Nomad as well. Those of you not familiar with what a Sega Nomad is, it's basically literally a portable Sega Genesis. You would plug this into the top of the Nomad and there you have it. You have a portable Sega. It's not like a Game Gear or something like that where you're running sort of less intensive games. But yeah, it's one of those weird projects where it's just a lot to do all at once. It's a lot to focus on, and unfortunately my day job has been a little bit more stressful than I would prefer it to be lately. So it's been difficult for me to find time to do it, but I've been introduced to a friendly challenge from my friend. Basically, if he finishes the work on his motorcycle before I finish this, then I owe him a beer. Just not that beer. That beer wasn't that great. So for the rest of this, I'm just gonna sort of be taking a walk around the neighborhood. So the rest of this is basically just sort of life update stuff. Now, the Manic Misses and I are in the process of trying to get approved for a new place to stay. I know it feels like every year or two I'm in the middle of some horrendously large move. In this case, I'm actually moving, hopefully, literally just around the corner from where I am right now. So that'll minimize downtime for any content that I'll be producing for the channel. And hopefully, if we get the place that we're looking at right now, it'll also give me the opportunity to produce more of it at higher quality, because basically when you guys saw my desk setup right now, that's in my bedroom. That's the only space that I have to film in. And unfortunately, it makes things kind of constraining in terms of getting new diverse backdrops for my B-roll footage. It makes keeping lighting consistent in my videos really challenging. Not impossible, but it is very challenging. So you may notice that in different videos that I produce, the lighting tends to change from video to video, and that's not something that I'm doing intentionally. It's an unfortunate byproduct of the fact that I just have limited space to work with. And for those of you wondering how in the hell I'm wearing a hoodie in the middle of summer, it's only like 60 degrees out right now. Gotta love living in the Northwest. But anyway, another side effect of being in the middle of trying to move is the fact that unfortunately, my finances are also similarly tied up, which is going to make it difficult for me to source product to make videos. It's not that I can't at least try to reach out to vendors, but for the sake of making my content feel more authentic and have more perspective from an actual consumer, I prefer to buy my product. And that's problematic when I have to allocate basically all of my funds towards getting a new place to stay. So in the short term, you may see some of my content take on more of like a vlog setting, or like what I talked about earlier on this year, you'll start to see some Manic Munchies content as well. It's easier for me to fund that stuff because, frankly, food is something that you need to sort of live in the first place. And beer is something that is another passion of mine, and it's something that we wind up allocating a fairly significant amount of our budget towards anyway, especially considering that we have a lot of local watering holes that are relatively close by, so it's basically the water is beer out here. So I'm going to start covering more of that content. Again, it's going to be on sort of every other week basis, just so I have the time to sort of figure out my process with the videos and figure out the framing for them, and basic storyboard, behind the scenes crap like that. Now, as far as tech content goes, when I come back to that, there have been some polls that I've been releasing in my community posts on my YouTube channel. If you guys haven't been catching those, maybe pay a little bit more attention to them, because your feedback is going to help shape the future of this channel. And I've noticed that a lot of you want to see, of course, graphics card reviews. Who in the hell doesn't want to see that? Motherboards, which that one I kind of wasn't expecting, but I do really enjoy taking a look at motherboard technology, skimming through the BIOS, seeing what user-friendly functionality and features are there, seeing what stuff is missing, and just in general seeing how the motherboard overclocks. There's also been some expressed interest in me going back and revisiting heat sinks and fans. Now, to that end, I do actually want to get a static test environment set up for that kind of testing, and I'm actually really close to it. Basically, once I get my Ryzen CPU update for my existing X470 motherboard, which admittedly I'm probably going to wind up going with like a 3800X, just because 12 cores and 24 threads on the 3900X doesn't really make a whole lot of sense for my build and my needs. But again, we'll see after the reviews go live, because I unfortunately am not privy to pre-launch review samples. But yeah, that'll be something else that I want to see from you guys down in the comments, or that I would like to see at least. What kind of test environment would you all like to see? Or if you just want to be a little bit more generic about it, what kind of case are you using right now, and how many fans are you using in that case? And what size are they? Because what I want to do is create a static test environment where I'm basically mimicking what the typical
PC enthusiast or consumer is using right now on their desktop. The way I've got it thought out right now is probably something like a Fractal Design Meshify C, just because that represents a sort of smaller ATX mid-tower footprint. You can still fit a full-size ATX motherboard in there. You can still fit a 360 rad in the front. You can fit 120 and 140 millimeter fans, and you can fit basically any modern graphics card inside the case. But yeah, leave your thoughts down below. And honestly, that's probably gonna wrap it up for this one. Toss a thumbs up on the video if you liked what you saw. Get subscribed for more content coming at you once every other week. Also, don't forget to follow me on my social media feeds. I'm on Twitter and Instagram @TheManicGeek. And as always, I will catch you guys next time. So take it easy.